What takes longer to get really competent at?
Stand-up.
So,
because I've been doing it 9 years. I was training for 4 years and I was top 10 in the world in the UFC.
right.
Stand-up, I'm not top 10.
You're number 12.
I'm probably number, how many are there? 300? I'm 299.
Serial pest and consummate douchebag Brendan Schaub went on the Adam Carolla Show last week, and they discussed all things Brendan Schaub. But Carolla seemed most interested in Buppa's transition from heavyweight punching bag to struggling stand-up comedian. But at first, Carolla caught me off guard with this comment here.
And your stand-up is good.
Yes.
And you've been working
I
at
work
it.
very hard, yeah.
However, after I endured more of this fascinating conversation, it became clear to me that Adam Carolla was actually trolling our boy Crinjo Puppy. It was some of that old school wit that you won't find in the Joe Rogan universe, where one guy is taking subtle, microaggressive digs at the other guy and the other guy thinks he's throwing compliments, when really the message couldn't be clearer. But I could be wrong. So this is what we're going to do. I've put together a short edit of all the bits that I think show beyond reasonable doubt that Adam Carolla is taking the piss out of Brendan Schaub, and you can let me know in the comments below if you agree with me that Carolla's actually having a subtle dig at Buppa, or if you think Carolla's being genuine. Now, I've taken some liberties with the editing because this channel's called Podcast Cringe after all. I've got to bring the cringe, right? So forgive my artistic contributions to the conversation. But hey, listen, after we're done with this little montage, I want to discuss something else that's been plaguing my mind as of late. And it's the matter of Buppa's absence from Joe Rogan's club, Comedy Mothership. Carolla brings that up and, well, we'll get to that. First things first, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss out on all my uploads. We're almost at 3,000 subscribers and we're cruising to 10,000. So jump on board if you're interested in supporting this very important work. And once you've done that, sit back and relax and let me know below if I've got it right or wrong.
But it's all motor. It's all energy. And we never really talk about that part of life. You know, whether it's stand-up, whether it's MMA, it's really the same motor.
Correct.
It's like it's a sort of relentlessness. People always talk about, oh, you got to believe in yourself and stuff like that. I don't know. I don't know that you have to believe in yourself. But you do have to just have that never-ending perpetual
relentless
motor.
pursuit.
Yeah, and so for you to go from MMA to stand-up, not many have made that journey.
I don't know any others. You know, it's a tough gig, and I don't know when it will cross. So I mean, now more people recognize me for comedy than fighting because I haven't fought in 10 years, even though I did get an offer to take a fight recently. But more people recognize me for stand up and podcasts than they do fighting.
Right.
Every now and then I'll get someone, like I was just at Starbucks and the guy's like, "Oh, dude, I watch everything you do. When's the next fight?" I'm like, "Okay, you don't watch everything I do."
And your stand-up is good.
Yes.
And you've been working at
I work
it.
very hard, yeah.
And your stand-up is good.
Yes.
And your stand-up is good.
Yes.
I think you'd be surprised. I really do.
But if you compare me to Bill Burr, which I've had that happen, like, man, if you're going to watch a special, don't watch Brendan's, watch Bill Burr's. I'm like, yeah, no shit, dude. What? Yeah.
Well, you might get discouraged if you watch.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I mean, I'm on a lineup tonight at the store, and you got Mark Norman on there and some killers.
Right.
And you sit back and watch him, and you're like, Jesus. It's like if you're a young basketball player and Kobe Bryant walks in, you're like, I should probably quit now. And you're like, I should probably quit now. And you're like, I should probably quit
Well,
now.
see, that is interesting about comedy versus fighting versus singing, that you can't be delusional in an octagon, and if you are, it's not going to last.
Correct. Your
delusion will not last very long.
Because someone will tell you, hey, you've lost 4 in a row. We no longer want to pay you to fight. In comedy, there's those old guys been doing it 40 years. Like, man, any day now, the Tonight Show is going to call me. I'm like, I got some bad news for you, Bubba.
Right. And
Carson's going to call. I'm like, oh, man, I got bad news for you.
And football will let you know really fast if you're able to play at that level or start or whatever. The physical world lets you know really fast. I mean, even doing carpentry lets you know real fast whether you know you're a good carpenter or not. Singing should let you know, but people slip through the cracks who don't know. But it should. You can play the instrument, you can do the song, the crowd likes it or whatever. Comedy doesn't really let you know.
It does, though.
I mean, it should.
It does, though. If you're actually a mature adult and can read the room, if you're not getting, it's pretty black and white, where if you're not getting laughs, you're not doing it very well. You're not doing it very well. You're not doing it very well.
And your stand-up is good.
Yes.
And you've been working at
I work
it.
very hard, yeah.
I think you'd be surprised. I really do.
But I'm saying out of the three, mixed martial arts will let you know the following day if you should be doing this or not. Boxing, you get a little more time to be bad, but they'll let you know. Music, they'll let you know, but you can buy yourself a few years. Comedy seems to just go on in perpetuity. And and it is a weird thing that people don't know they're not funny. They're not funny. They're not funny.
It's because everyone leans into the exception. Like, Lucy K didn't pop to 21 years in.
Rodney
You're like,
Dangerfield was in his 70s before he got his first laugh.
I used to be a janitor at a grocery store, and this guy, he was small, and but he wanted to be an actor, and it's not in the cards for him. He's not taking an acting class. And he looks at me dead serious. He goes, Morgan Freeman worked at a grocery store. I'm like, no, I know. He probably did. At one point in his life, you're not Morgan fucking Freeman, dude. But it's always, everyone's basing their entire identity off the exception.
And your stand-up is good.
Yes.
And you've been working at
I work
it.
very hard, yeah.
I think you'd be surprised. I really do. And I say that as a friend and a guy who loves you.
Wow, there you go. There's a lot in there. The funny thing is, I actually think that the more conversations Bappa has in that vein, the quicker he's going to realize the reality of his situation. I mean, don't you think it's a little bit odd that Adam Carolla's line of questioning was focused on Bappa's transition from MMA to stand-up? I don't know, he seemed to be quite focused on the idea that we all need people to tell us when to stop doing something if we're clearly a shithouse and we can't see it for ourselves. He didn't ask any questions about Bappa's process or his style. He was more focused on the phenomenon of Brendan Schaub rather than the man himself. I honestly think this was one massive piss take. I'll be interested to see what you guys think. But let's transition even further than Bappa's career and talk about the seemingly chronic absence of the man from Rogan's mothership. Here's how it went down on the Carolla Show.
Now, I know famously Rogan said you got to stop fighting, right? Should there be a version of that for stand-up? Should there be a tribunal where like other comedians just say to somebody, it's been 11 years. I just saw your
gotta
act.
move on.
It's time to get that job at the supermarket.
I think 11 years is I think 11 years is a good marker. But that's what like Mitzi was for, right? For Mitzi Shore at the store. She was wrong sometimes, like she turned down Seinfeld and she took some L's, but she took a lot of W's. There's that aspect of it. Like when you stop getting booked at the Improv or the Comedy Store or Laugh Factory, like, hey man, I have to go work at the grocery store.
Yeah. I haven't been to Rogan's club over there. How is it?
I didn't get a chance to go either because we did the show on Saturday. I came on Friday because Callan had shows at Cap City, the new Cap City. So I did the 2 shows with Callan at Cap City instead of going to the mothership. And then Saturday night, he was like, all right, let's go to the mothership after the fight campaign. I'm like, let's do it. And then we got done at 12:45, 1 at a 7 a.m. flight. So I didn't get a chance.
Okay, all right. So here's the thing. I don't believe for a second that Bappa simply hasn't been able to tee up a set at the mothership. This is what I think is actually going on. In Joe Rogan's infinite wisdom and desire to replicate Mitzi Shore's Comedy Store, I think he's pulled Bappa aside and told him that he needs more experience first before he'll let him do a set at his comedy club. Just picture it. Rogan having a sit down with Bappa and explaining that he needs to earn his stripes first before Rogan will put him on. Your act isn't quite there, Bappa. You need to fix this, tidy up that, and do more of this. I can totally see that as being the reason why Bappa hasn't performed there. Think about it. These guys are supposedly super close. They chat every day, according to Bubba. They're good friends. Rogan's notoriously loyal to his mates. He helps them out where he can. It just seems so unlikely that he could have opened up his comedy club 6 months ago. That's right, 6 months ago. And one of his best mates hasn't had a chance to even check it out yet? Get the fuck out of here. Come on, guys. Rogan clearly won't let him in. But I don't think we'll ever know for sure. Rogan will, of course, deny it if it ever comes up. But maybe Bubba will let it slip in an interview one day. That's what I'm counting on. So look out for it. The headline will read, Joe Rogan tells Crinjo Puppy you're not funny enough yet. And Bubba will go on to explain how Rogan saved his comedy career and helped him improve to become the comic he is today. Yet again, Bubba will somehow find a way to owe all his success to Papa Rogan. It's such a beautiful arc, don't you think? Well, it's not much of an arc, actually. It's more of a flat line.
I think you'd be surprised. I really do.
Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Remember, best comment gets pinned. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that like button and don't forget to become a subscriber so you can keep up to date with all my latest uploads. And if you're having a bad day, remember that Brendan Schaub bought a convertible Ferrari as an investment. I'll chat to you guys soon. See you in the next one.
I would say the convertible might be the way to really test if somebody wants to be noticed or not.
What if you have a convertible and you leave the top up?
What do you got?
I got a 430, F430 Ferrari. It's a Spider. So the only reason I don't like convertibles. The only reason I did, it's worth more. So I was like, as an investment,
right.
I leave the top up.
I'll give you a pass.
But I have rolled it down. Like, you feel like an asshole. You just feel like such a tool. Your hair's flapping in the wind. You know, you just feel like, you know.